just watched episode 3 of the 100 and my god, this was a freaking amazing episode. Let's talk about it. Alright, this was like such an amazing episode, and there was so many breaking points, there were so many turning points, there were so many crucial points in this episode, which is definitely kickstarting the season. It's gonna be a rough ride from here on out. So from the get-go, we've got Clarke and Lexa. This was a Clarke and Lexa episode, and it is glorious. But the opening scene, Clarke is very, very pissed still. It's been a week, but she's still a very grumpy cat. So after Lexa tries to convince Clarke that she's doing this to save her, Clarke is still not taking anything. She is not believing a word Lexa is saying, and she essentially tells her to either go float herself or kill her. Yeah. So that from that point on, Lexa is talking to, she brings together a meeting with the 12 clan representatives. I don't know exactly what they were going to talk about. Something about the summit that was going to happen that night. But the Ice Nation representative decided to be a little shit and talk back to Lexa. What? How dare he? Like, at this point, we can, if we didn't know already, which we really should have, we can definitely see how little, actually no respect the Ice Nation has for Lexa. No respect whatsoever. And there is, yeah. A really brutal part that was brought up at this point was this Ice Nation representative actually brings up Costea. Not by name, but he mentions that why isn't one hater dead yet? Is she another one of Lex's weaknesses? And if that's the case, the Ice Nation is definitely willing to step up and take care of that weakness again. What? That is so... Oh, wow. Like... What? We really need to see that backstory as well with Costea, and that's an intense situation right there. But Lex has taken none of that shit, thank God. She decides to have a little private conversation with this Ice Nation mutt. This is what I wrote down. That's a bit brutal. But yeah, just kicks him off the tower and he goes splat. It was fucking great. That was a really, really satisfying situation right there. It was a very great outcome, I think. So thank you, Lexa, for that. Alright, so we're jumping over to Mount Weather and the people there. I want to talk about Octavia. She's still not fitting in anywhere. I don't think she's ever really found a place that she has felt at home. I think she was definitely starting to feel that as Indra's second. But that was taken away from her way too quickly when she chose her brother over the Grounders. And I think that's going to play a crucial part again in this season. We do see a really cute moment with Bellamy and Octavia where Bellamy says, and no matter where Octavia goes to find her home, she's always got a spot with him. They're always going to be a tight little unit, which is a really cute moment, but it's terrifying seeing that and then seeing the scene in the trailer where Octavia is just, she is over it with Bellamy. I'm really terrified by that story arc. And I think that definitely starts to happen in this episode, that story arc. Their split, I think, definitely starts to happen in this episode. Alright, jumping over to Rowan. I am still super conflicted with Rowan. I said in my last review that he wasn't loyal to the Ice Nation because the Ice Nation Queen banished him. That's not true. That was the impression that I got, but it's not true. I feel, and this could be completely wrong. This theory, this thought could be completely wrong. There's a very good chance that it is wrong, but I still feel like Rowan is not going to necessarily be a bad guy. I'm really conflicted by it. So we do see that Rowan does want to kill Lexa. He wants to get his revenge on Lexa, and he goes to Clarke for that. And one of the questions that I have is, if he's a prisoner, why is he walking around so freely? Well, that's one of my questions. Like, Clarke isn't a prisoner there. She sort of is, but it's not for punishment. It's to keep her safe. So Lexa's trying to keep her in Polis, but she wants Clarke, to feel like she's not chained up or anything, if that makes sense. But Rowan is a prisoner. So I was a little confused as to why he's just wandering around so easily, and how he got a knife to Clarke so easily, and how he set everything up so easily. That was just one question I had. Also, another question that I had was, like, at the summit. I'm jumping forward a little bit, but it's just because I'm talking about Rowan. At the summit, he's very observant of Clarke and Lexa, and he was the first person to bow down after Clarke, which I think is really significant. Like, not even Indra or Titus or anyone like that, anyone that has a great respect for Lexa, didn't bow down first after Clarke. It was Rowan. So I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know if he's gonna be the bad guy. So Kane was so cute this episode. I really, really like Kane, especially after this episode. I think he is so keen to learn about the culture of the Grounders and just immerse himself in that environment. He was loving it there, man. I think he has what's the right word? He's definitely he's as open to the idea to the Grounder culture as I believe Clarke was in season 2. I think Clarke still is, but she has that guard up now because of Lexa and hurting her heart. But yeah, I think Kane and Clarke are definitely on the same page in regards to wanting to learn about the Grounders and their culture and their lifestyle. So yeah, Kane is in my good books, like, real hard. I'm a big fan of him after this episode. Also, Kane and Indra, that was like bro TP right there. It's so good. Like, seeing Indra smile, oh my god, that is like the greatest gift ever. No, it's not. But it's up there. So, Lexa, we got to see Lexa training some kids. I believe Jason mentioned that we're going to be learning more about those kids' roles later on, which I'm really excited to see and learn about. I'm so excited just to learn about the Grounder culture, I'm not even going to lie. But it was really, really cute seeing Lexa, like, training them, and she was such a proud person, like, for that kid when he smacked her right in the face, and she's like, whoa. I had to replay it to actually see what Titus was saying, because I was just like focused in on Lexa's facial expression. It was the greatest thing ever. Anyway, I literally wrote down Lexa training kids and I put like a love heart there. Alright, so after the training the kids, Titus is talking to Lexa about the summit and stuff like that, and literally, like, so many people just want the one hater dead, and Titus is saying to her there, the best solution for them is to just kill one hater, take her power, and shut the Ice Nation down. That's the best solution for them. They've got a big threat with the Ice Nation. The Ice Nation is a huge threat. But Lexa is way too keen on Clarke. Yeah, man, she's a big fan of Clarke. She thinks Clarke's very special and it's the cutest fucking thing in the world. Lexa, man, how does she keep on getting, like, cuter and, like, more badass in every episode? I don't even understand. Also, they mentioned, like, reaching their goal and stuff like that, and I'm wondering, is it peace that they're searching for? I don't know. I was a little confused by what their goal was. Titus, Titus is like, we're so close to our goal. I'm curious about what that was, and I'm not sure if it was just peace. It didn't really, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to jump over to the knife scene. This knife scene fucked me up big time. This was such a brilliant scene. It was incredible. So in this knife scene, this is the moment where Clarke realizes it doesn't matter how much she hates Lexa. She can't kill her. She can't take that step. There's something inside of Clarke big enough to not take that step. It doesn't matter how much she hates Lexa. It doesn't matter how feral Clarke becomes. And it doesn't matter how far away from season 1 Clarke she goes. She won't be able to take that step to kill Lexa. Lexa also realizes and sees just how different a person this Clarke is to the Clarke that she left at Mount Weather. She realizes that girl is gone, and you can see the pain in her eyes, and she apologizes. She says, "I'm sorry. I didn't want this to happen to you." And at that moment, it's such a turning point for both characters. I think it truly tears Lexa apart to see that innocence gone. I think growing up in the Grounders culture and stuff like that innocence is taken away from them a lot earlier, and seeing Clarke with that innocence at that age and at that maturity, I think was very unique for Lexa, and to see that taken away from her, I think broke her heart a little bit. Yeah, it was such an emotional scene. It was brilliant. All right, so we're jumping over to like Bellamy and Pike and stuff like that. They're running through the caves to get to Clarke. And at this point, Pike is very willy-nilly with killing Grounders. He doesn't care whatsoever. And he goes in to kill one of the Grounders to get that's in their way. And Bellamy runs in with him with no hesitation to kill the other Grounder. I think that's one of the turning points between, Bellamy and Octavia, and Bellamy and the Archers that might want to join the 13th clan, I think this is where Bellamy's sort of loyalties shift more towards Pike. And it also terrified me. It terrified me because I just got like that sort of connection. I don't know if it's the right word, but connection between Bellamy and Finn. And I'm like, fuck. Yeah, I got a weird like flashback to Finn when Bellamy went up and killed that Grounder just so easily. So there is a lot of flashing back and forth between Bellamy and Mount Weather and Lexa and Clarke and all that as we jump to the summit. And I want to talk about the summit and definitely about Lexa and Clarke. Lexa can absolutely see the sacrifice that Clarke is taking by bowing down to her. She doesn't want Clarke to bow down to her. She really does not. But I think she is a little bit in awe of Clarke for that sacrifice. So as Bellamy and Octavia and Pike make their way into the summit, guns blazing and stuff like that. Well, they're not shooting anyone at the minute. But at this point, we see that Echo has betrayed Bellamy. And I think this is another turning point for Bellamy getting betrayed by a Grounder that he had trusted. I think the only Grounder that he had trusted apart from Lincoln. And I think that might be another turning point for Bellamy, being like that he can't trust Grounders and he's going to side with Pike maybe. Alright, so where were we? Okay, so we're going to talk about Raven for 2 seconds. Now that I've restored my emotional percentage. We're full blown right now. Raven, we got to see Raven, and it was not how I wanted to see Raven. She's still hurt. So Raven this episode was, she is expressing that, she's finding it really hard to find worth in herself because of her disability. She feels like she's not able to help anyone or do anything the way that she could, and that's what she found worth in herself. And now that that's been taken away from her to a degree, she's very much doubting herself. As much as she likes to put on an appearance and show that, she's still badass and all and stuff like that, it's still affecting her greatly, I think, her confidence and her self-worth. So that was so heartbreaking. She mentions that she doesn't really want to ask Abby for help because I think she's afraid of asking for help and getting some hope and then having it fail and have that hope taken away from her again. I think she's very terrified of failure. And even if it's not necessarily her failing, it's still, I think she still sees it as a failure if Abby can't fix her leg. So that was heart-wrenching. I just want her to smile and be happy and just go back to when she was out in space and floating and doing what she loved doing and she was badass at it. I feel like that was the last time she was truly happy, and that terrifies me. So we've got the assassin in Mount Weather, and the assassin was a sort of a diversion. Echo sort of led Bellamy and Octavia and Pike into the summit at Polis to sort of get their attention away from Mount Weather because the assassin was in Mount Weather, which... Also, as a side thought, as I'm thinking of this, I didn't actually write this down during the episode, but a thought kind of just came to my mind. Do you think that Echo maybe told Bellamy in particular that the assassin was at Polis, knowing that he would go there and stay away from Mount Weather? I mean, she essentially saved his life by doing that. So is that something that she was conscious of doing, or was it just purely a diversion to get their attention away from Mount Weather, do you think? But anyway, so the assassin's in Mount Weather and just brutally stabs Gina in the stomach. Whoa. Man, Gina was too good for this world. She was... I was not expecting it. I'm not even gonna lie. I wasn't expecting Gina to die this quickly into the season. But I really should have, because she was beautiful and perfect and just so kind and so right. Of course she's gonna die. So the assassin stabs her multiple times, but she's not dead, which is even more brutal, I think. And then he goes and starts the self-destruction mechanism in the Mount Weather, and he pisses off. While Gina is dying, she is on the edge of her deathbed, she still manages to radio into Raven and warn her what is happening to try and save the lives of everyone else in Mount Weather. Gina, man, I hope you're doing well up there, man. You deserve so much better. So they chase down the Grounder, the Ice Nation warrior that set the self-destruction sequence. They kill him. Raven shoots him, and they get the code from his arm, but it's too late. Gina's already dead, and that countdown in the eye is actually Gina's eye, which I wasn't expecting. I was sort of convinced it had something to do with Allie, but it's Gina, and it goes boom. Two massacres in the same place within episodes of each other. Really, it was only 4 episodes ago that the mountain men were eradicated and now they're just gonna blow it up again and kill a whole bunch of other people. So the Ice Nation want a war. They want this war because, I mean, they were first to admit that they blew up Mount Weather as soon as it happened. They honestly don't care who knows that they want war. They want everyone to know, and they're so proud to admit that. That is so brutal. The Ice Nation is so brutal. Again, at this point, when Lexa is saying that that's an act of war and to put that Ice Nation, was it a representative or I forget his official title, put him in prison. Again, I might be wrong with this Rowan theory, but I feel like she sort of added and put the Ice Nation prince in as well as sort of like an afterthought. And I don't know if it was like sort of for show, like, oh, well, he's Ice Nation as well, he has to go away as well. I don't know. I feel like Lexa and Rowan they've got some, I don't know. I feel like I might be reading into this too much as well. But I don't know. So we get to this ending bits. Lexa and Clarke fucked me up this episode, man. It was so emotional. Like, I talked about that knife scene. That knife scene was emotional as fuck. That was so raw, those emotions. This scene right here with Lexa and Clarke after the whole summit scenario in what I'm assuming is Lexa's, is it the throne room? I think it's the throne room. Man, I was not expecting it, and it is better than anything I could have dreamt up ever. Lexa is just, she committed the most romantic slash I can't even express in words, like the biggest gesture she could possibly give to someone. And she did it to Clarke to show she's her equal, that she doesn't want to hurt Clarke anymore. She doesn't want her actions to change her the way that her actions at Mount Weather did. She doesn't want to go through that again. She doesn't want to put Clarke through that again. So she's making a commitment right now that she's committing herself to Clarke. She is pledging her fealty to Clarke. First and foremost, to Clarke. And then after that, she is seeing her people as her people. I think that's like a big sort of point. When she's bowing down to Clarke, she's bowing down to Clarke. She is pledging herself to Clarke first and foremost. And then she's pledging herself to her people / their people. They're now all one together, but I think she is pledging herself to Clarke first and foremost. She is not going to be the source of Clarke's hurt anymore. She is going to do what she can to treat Clarke's needs as her own. And just, it is so, I wasn't expecting it, and it fucked me up so hard, guys. And then Clarke offers her hand to stand her up as a recognition of that commitment. Clarke is still, no doubt Clarke is still hurt and still mad and still can't completely give herself over like Lexa is doing. She still can't trust to like 100% at this point, which is 100% understandable, and Lexa knows that. But the fact that Clarke offered her hand is definitely a recognition that she understands that Lexa is committing herself to Clarke and her people as well now. This is where the power couple begins. Like, this is happening episode 3. Lexa is committing herself to Clarke in episode 3. We have, what, like 13 more episodes to go of just Lexa being committed to Clarke. I fucking can't with this show, man. It's just like the greatest thing in the world. I've got the biggest smile on my face, and it's been on my face for like 24 hours. Not even 24 hours. It's been like 12 hours. Let's be real. But it's just, how do you deal with something like that? Also, like, this is only just coming to me now. Like, 12 hours afterwards, the fight scene is next episode, right? Clarke is now not, she's not fully pissed at Lexa. She's still pissed, but she's not like, wanting to kill Lexa at this point because she knows she can't kill Lexa. So Clarke's at that recognition point where, you know, there is no point fighting against Lexa because in her heart she knows she can't. So next episode we have the fight scene and we know that Lexa gets hurt, like her hand gets hurt, she's bleeding. Can we? There's gotta be like a Lexa Clarke sort of like just mending Lexa scene, right? Oh my god, I really hope that happens next episode. Oh god, I feel like it's probably a bit too fan fiction. Like in my mind, that's a perfect scene to happen, but oh man, I really hope it does happen. Okay, now before I finish this off, I have to talk about the Ice Queen because we do see her at the end of this episode. Echo runs up to her. Also, as a side note, when she's running up to the Ice Queen, she says like ambassadors, like she's sort of walking through these ambassadors. Who are these people? Like, are these Ice Nation ambassadors or are these like from other clans? Why are they standing around the Ice Queen? I don't believe ambassadors was a term that Lexa used at any of the meetings. So I feel like these are a different group of people. Maybe we might learn more about them next episode. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so Echo runs through these ambassadors and runs up to the Ice Queen, says that she's got her war, and then we see Emerson pop out from behind her. Emerson, I can't wait for Lexa to get her hands on him. Actually, Clarke. No, I don't want Clarke to kill anyone more. I need Clarke to just gain her innocence again. So Emerson is the one that told the Grounders how to self-destruct the mountain. Whoa, what a bastard, that dude. And so the Ice Queen also mentions that, what does she say? She wants to set her son free. So she still, she still has a relationship with her son. Again, my feelings for Rowan, maybe, like, obviously the Queen still has a connection with her son. Does Rowan have that connection back? I don't know. I'm still really on the edge with Rowan. He's such an unknown character. Either way, the Ice Queen wants him back for her. She wants him safe, away from Lexa, and she also wants to kill Lexa. So the Ice Queen can go float herself. Man, I cannot wait for Lexa to put this Ice Queen in her place. We'll get revenge for Castilla. Just protect her Clarke. I cannot wait for this to happen, and it better happen. I already hate this Ice Queen, and I can't wait for her to die. But that's this episode. My God, it was a great episode. Whew. I know I got a little bit more energetic in this half of the episode. Because I needed that 12-hour rest to sort of recharge my emotional batteries. Batteries is the word, not percentage. Batteries. So yeah, I would again love to know your thoughts on episode 3. My Tumblr right now is just full of those Clexa moments. Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, man. It's such a good fucking episode, and like next episode is just gonna be as good apparently according to Jason. I could not be happier. It was not what I thought was gonna happen in this episode. A lot of it took me by surprise. Some of it didn't, but overall, way better than I could have expected. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Also, again, chat with me in the comments or on Twitter and Tumblr, on... What else have I got up there? I got my Snapchat and Instagram, but it's not really a conversation thing. Anyway, they're in the description. Also, again, check out my friend Sophia's channel. She does reaction videos to the 100. So if you want to see like a live reaction of the episode instead of like a recap, then go check out her channel. She's awesome. And that's about it from me. I will see you guys next time. All right.